April 8th, 2026. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. The only economic data that came out was around 11 o'clock Pacific Standard, which is about right here in this region. And it didn't really move the market. It was the FOMC Meeting Minutes for the rate decision that came from the previous meeting, which they decided not to do anything. But it didn't really move the market. Otherwise, there was no other real news that came out. This gigantic spike and gap up was due to, I think there's an agreement about the Iran ceasefire for, I think, 2 weeks by Trump. So it caused the market to really push up almost like 200 points. There's this huge gap up. It never came back down to close the gap in the pre-market. And then once on the open, it looked like prices are just kind of moving down this gradual yellow down channel, maybe like on a bigger time frame, a big leg up, sideways, almost like two legs up, two or three legs back up to the high side. After this big move, you could argue that most of the price action happened within maybe about, I would say about 50 points. It's just kind of chopped around in here. It did take one trade, and unfortunately, it was a loser. I'm going to get into the setups right now. I actually didn't find too many setups that I thought were worth me trying to jump in. So pre-market, there's this gigantic push up. Let's go ahead and zoom in. I didn't mean to do that. Put that back there. Roughly there. So pre-market, there was this huge push up. Break almost like three legs up. Looks like it was two legs down, then this gradual green up channel. Prices started moving down this. Well, if I don't even know if you really categorize this as a channel just yet, but it did look like it was maybe 2 to 3 legs down. One leg down, pull back, second leg down, pull back, and third leg pushes up. Sideways consolidation, pushes up again, makes the pre-market high and also the high of day, pushes down, bounces, and then right here when it was consolidating, that's right about when the market opens. So it pushes down on this orange down channel, break, test the low. You technically have a new low here. It's a first entry short, pullback, second entry short. Now I saw this time and I wasn't sure if this is a good enough trade because I was a little suspicious of, there's a small break on this side. Depending on how you drew it, you could have said there was no break and it needs to test the low. But I also thought there was some kind of support region here. So it just made me a little hesitant because I'm going for 6 ticks. And from here to here, and actually all the way down to here, I think there's enough if you're going from here all the way down to here for 6 ticks, but I wasn't too sure because I actually had it drawn a little tighter. So I thought this was a failed breakout. I was a little reluctant. I wanted a lower high, but it never showed up. Price is reversed. Break of this green up channel, test the high. Kind of chops sideways. Nothing really, no real setup shows up here. Pushes down on this yellow orange down channel. Break, test the low. So now it looks like it's 2 legs down. Bottoms here. And it starts reversing, but there's no setup here. Creates a double bottom here. It's a first entry short, pullback. You get a second entry short here, but this isn't a clean setup. This is just a little congested. You also get a lower high here, but it's also the wrong signal bar color. Pushes down. I thought it was going to bounce off the EMA, but this is also, relatively speaking, a pretty large candle, so I left this alone. Pushes up, so you do have a localized high. First entry long pullback, second entry long, too much tail here. I'm not the biggest fan of this. Plus, it looks like it's already made 2 legs up. So asking it to push again higher, it feels a little sketchy. I did have this. So this yellow down channel doesn't really form until about right here, or I don't really establish it as where it is, because initially I was trading it with the high side here. So I had certain things like cutting here, cutting here, cutting here. Eventually it turns into this yellow down channel, but that doesn't exist yet for me. But pushes down, and I get choppy, breaks, tested low. This is the first time it's confirmed that maybe it actually be here. So it starts forming to where this yellow down channel eventually ends up. So it's a localized low, first entry short. technically have a second entry short. It looks like it's 2 legs up, but I don't like this signal bar. You don't get a lower high confirmation. Now it looks like it's 1 leg up, pullback, potentially a second leg up. So it's also localized low, first entry short. You technically have a second entry short here, but it's inside bar, but it also looks like it's 2 legs up. But that's still not good enough for a trade for me. It starts moving sideways. It gets very congested. You look at these candles, it's very wicky. You got a lot of wick on each side of these candles. It's just ugly. And there's news coming out all day, just kind of announcements about tensions rising in Iran. I think Israel might still be carrying out military operations. I'm not fully aware of what's going on, but I do know I was listening to the news wire and things are just coming out all day sporadically. Makes it kind of feel a little bit trappy when things like that happen, which has been lately when the war started. The trading has been a little bit more challenging, a little more tricky. So it starts moving. I'm thinking there's some kind of resistance up here, and then it starts looking like there's some kind of support down here. But I did think that maybe there was support here, especially after this bounce. It actually sets up for the first possible trade. So it is rejecting off the top of this yellow down channel, also the top of this possible range that I think is forming. Now, I wasn't really sure if the bottom of this range was right here where this blue line is, and this is a potential fail breakout, or was it actually right here, which kind of encapsulates and closes up this entire price action with no breakout. And later I settled on where it is now, this low side. So I do like that it was rejecting off here. I'm not as concerned about where the support is because you have so much room. And it does look like it's a break of this green up channel, test the high, rejection. You have 2 key entry points, this yellow down channel, this top of the range, and it's a decent signal bar, although it's green. So since the signal bar is green, I wanted to wait for a lower high confirmation. If this had ended up red, then I would have definitely tried to take this trade. But since it ended green, I was a little unsure. I wasn't that concerned about the EMA coming into play because as you can see, it's just kind of moving sideways. And EMA had no effect here, no effect here. Pretty much, it's not really that big a concern when it's sideways in a range. So I thought this was a possible trade, but I didn't have the courage to take it. I want a lower high. By the time lower high shows up right here, it feels too far. I wanted the lower high essentially to be right about here, then I would have felt more confident. But nevertheless, I thought it was a possible trade, but in real time, I didn't trust it enough. Prices then moved down what looks like, multiple legs, one leg down, pull back, second leg, but it also looks like it's moving down this bigger leg. But unfortunately, it's just choppy sideways, sideways with a bearish bias. Then it starts moving sideways again here. It's a localized low, first entry short, kind of creates a double bottom. So I just reset the count here. It's a first entry short pullback, second entry short. I was tempted at the time when I saw this bar forming before it closed. But by the time it closed, the second entry short, the trade has already been made because you don't want to be trying to short right here into this potential support area, even though the bias is bearish. And on top of that, if I wanted to reduce the risk and put my entry way up here, you're asking for prices from here on the next candle to move all the way back up, reclaim more than half of this candle just to pick up my short and then push back down. So I saw this in real time. It was a hunch, but I couldn't justify the hunch really, especially not off of experience because I don't consider that I have enough experience yet to even see this, and try to jump in on this in real time. So, so it kind of moves sideways. There's a potential fail breakout here, pushes back in, but it fails to reach the high side. EMA is starting to look like it's acting as a resistance because it does have a bearish bias now. There is still prices violating, pushing above it, but it is for the most part crushing and pushing the prices down. I'm going to go ahead and move forward, pushes down, breaks out of this low side of this yellow down channel. It starts rallying up. So there's a fail breakout. I'm expecting a potential fail breakout on this side. So it looks like it could be one leg pullback, second leg, but also looks like it's just one clean leg. So I'm going to talk about this. This is actually where it sets up my trade and a trade failure. So it pushes up and it starts reversing. So it looks like it's a lower high here. The only reason I marked this as black arrows, again, I saw this in real time. And although it's not really the cleanest setup, it does look like it's one leg up, pull back, maybe a second leg up, and this could be a lower high. Lower high, decent signal bar. I was concerned about maybe a bounce off the EMA at this point, but I was playing against the key entry point of like which one was going to win out, the strength of this acting as a resistance or the EMA potentially bouncing, because the break of the screen up channel, if I did treat it as one big leg, you're expecting a test of the high. So in real time, I'm thinking it's pulling back. Could this be one leg down and then makes an attempt to test the high here? But there is resistance here. So which one's going to win out? I really couldn't tell, but I did like the signal bar, but I didn't trust the read and the conflicting variables enough to try to take a trade. But if you did take a short, it would have won. But again, just not enough in my mind to tell me what to do. So it actually sets up for my first trade way over here. When it pushes down, there's a break on this orange downside, and it pushes back up. It looks like it's two legs up, one leg up, pull back. These two tiny legs, but these two tiny legs look like it's making one leg up, pull back, second leg up. Makes a measured move. So in my mind, I'm thinking this yellow down channel is the dominant channel. Prices are clearly respecting it. There's a small violation here, and that's fine. Prices are coming back down. There's a fail breakout here. I'm thinking prices are going to obey this yellow down channel first and foremost, and it's going to push down. So this break of this green up channel looks like it was one leg up, pull back. These two might have been a second attempt to, make a second leg on this green one. So this is what I was thinking at the time. But now it did make two legs, two attempts up. It broke through this potential resistance area, and now it looks like it's flushing back down. So I'm thinking it's going to make a second one of these orange legs down, one leg down, two legs up. I'm expecting to see another one of these big legs down, which I marked it as this blue channel down because this measured leg has been completed. So that sets up for the trade that I took and then ultimately failed. So this is a potential fail breakout of a maybe range that is developing, which I don't know yet because I'm thinking, okay, prices are clearly making higher highs, and that's fine. But it looks like it's reversing back down. So it created a first entry long pullback, clearly a second entry long. Second entry long has failed. Second entry long has failed and also has broken through this area that I was concerned about. So I was thinking, is it going to bounce here? Because it could create a triple test and reverse back up. But I was basing off the strength of this resistance coming down, how I read the market that this might come back down and create a second leg after two legs up. I decided to enter, but I did try to reduce the risk. So I tried to enter at the low of this candle, or actually one tick below this guy. So I entered right here, going for 6 ticks. Keep in mind, this red up channel doesn't exist yet, so I didn't see this as a potential resistance point. I actually thought support was going to show up down here. Entered, flushes up. My stop's above here, so I was trying to be super conservative. Pushes up, and unfortunately, I take a 3-point loss, so a little bit more than 3, and then it kind of reverses back up. So after reviewing this, I can't honestly, at the time, other than this potential triple test bounce points, which I should have considered, which I thought I did, since it broke below the support area, I probably should have waited for a little bit cleaner setup because it could be first entry long, and then this big move down could probably have been considered the second leg and not this tiny little blip here. So first entry long, second entry long should have been considered probably first entry, pullback, then this nice green candle would have been the second entry long. And then if this red candle broke below this one, that's probably where the failure would have occurred. So I was too, I think, zoomed in on this setup that this trade probably should have been skipped. Then prices move up. There's no clean second entries here. It looks like it's just big move back up. Then it breaks through to the other side. So first entry long, pull back. Technically, you have a second entry long here, but this isn't a good signal bar. It just looks a little congested. It also looked like it was one big orange leg down. As soon as it bounces here and reverses up, so there's no real setups here, that's where I established this red up channel, which has 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. The high side doesn't really confirm, so I don't really trust it too much to color it in. It was just more of a guideline. So prices are moving up. Looks like it's moving up this green up channel. No clean second entries. Localized high. First entry long pullback. Second entry long. Second entry long is about to fail, but I call it an almost trade because I'm haunted by this setup that failed previously. So I was thinking, okay, well, just be extra cautious. This isn't the cleanest signal bar. EMA can't really trust it as being reliable. So I just kind of left it alone. Moves down this green down channel. Looks like this is the measured leg that I was looking for. One leg down, pull back, second leg. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that because it's not helpful now after the fact. But in real time, I was looking for something like that. It's a localized low, pushes up. Looks like it's two small legs, but actually just one big leg up, which is characterized by this red up channel, break, and pushes the high. So I thought this is another possible trade, but it is a very quick move that after the close, I was thinking maybe there's going to be a trade here. I was watching to see if there's going to be a break below this. And then by the time it does, the trade for my 6 ticks has already been completed. But this is why I thought it was a possible trade. This blue down channel looks like it's holding. This is the first break of the blue down channel, and you're expecting a test of the low. So it's a first entry short, reverses back up, creates your second entry short. Break of this pink one has tested the high. This could be coming back down, decent signal bar. The only thing that gave me a little bit more thought or caution was that it's kind of closing at the EMA. If it broke a little bit below, it would have felt a little safer. But I felt like this might have been a possible trade also because the risk is low. It's only 8 ticks and I'm going for 6. So it's a pretty decent risk reward. But the problem is when it opened, it flushes down right away. So there's no way, even starting with a stop limit order down here and dragging it up, when it pushes past your entry, NinjaTrader will just kick your order out. By the time I, try to create an order up here and drag it down from the high side, this has already made the 6 ticks, and I knew the trade already went without me. So the only way to have gotten on this trade was, for me, if it broke below the EMA, then I probably would have opened my order, dragged it up, hopefully quickly enough to try to enter on this trade. Then prices move up in this green up channel. No clean second entries here. It's the high side. I'm not sure what news came out because you can tell this is in the span of 2 minutes. This big move down, this move almost like 30, well, actually take back about 20 points, which is rather quick. So it pushes down, first entry long, pull back, second entry long. I'm not a big fan of this. You can see it as 2 legs, but this is just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Localized low, first entry short, pull back. Technically a second entry short here, maybe a potential resistance here, but the way I was looking at it, the break of this has made 2 attempts up. There's a potential support area here. And if not, there's a kind of another support area here. So to short after this, plus the market was telling me there was enough buyers to rally and pull it back up right here. If it closed at the low, I may have considered taking the trade because it would have been the support or bounce area I would have been concerned about would have been down here because I'd be looking for a test of this low. But since it created this little bit of a wick down here, and I was aware that there might have been a support zone here, it just made me hesitate. So it moves sideways and choppy. It looks like it's one leg down, kind of sideways consolidation. Then it moves a second measured leg down. Unfortunately, there's no clean setups that I like here. Pushes down. So first entry long, pull back. You could say maybe there's a second entry long here, but when you see this in real time before this candle shows up, this doesn't look like anything. Definitely you're not ready to take a long. Then you see this big blip up. I'm thinking prices are going to test the low of this orange because I'm expecting this second orange leg to be the same size as this. Kind of chops around, meanders. Again, it doesn't really make a decisive move down. It's just kind of floating in the middle of nowhere. And it finally does come down here, makes the measured move, but there's no setup here. Bounces. Looks like it's a first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short here, but it looks like it's one leg pullback, second leg. So visually, it looks like the second entry short shows up here. But when it shows up, that doesn't tell me to go short. That's an inside bar. It's also doji. Doesn't tell me to go short. This technically spiked above here, but it's too neutral. It's kind of a ugly candle following a doji. Again, you have just kind of indecision. Is it moving back up? Is it moving back down? I have no idea. So ultimately, there's no trade area. Pushes down. Depending on how you drew it, because I had it tighter initially, I saw a break of this orange down channel, tested the low, and it starts reversing. Looks like a visual first entry long pullback, second entry long, terrible signal bar. If you waited for this one to close, it feels too late to try to enter here. So I'm looking for a higher low. You get a higher low here, but now again, it's running into my concern that is this a potential resistance area? Although I saw maybe it's 2 legs up, pullback, and this could have been seen as one big leg. Is it really going to push up to here or am I going to get stopped here? So it's just a little bit conflicting ideas. Pushes to the high. Looks like it's 2 legs down. This would have been nice if this was set up a little bit better, with like a better, cleaner signal bar. But I did see 2 legs down. Second entry long. It's too late in the day though, but I was hoping for and hoping to see if price action would form and give you a higher low, which it kind of does here. But this isn't very attractive because this candle is already challenging the high of the previous localized high. So a higher low here doesn't feel safe. It'd just be buying into a potential resistance area. And the prices just kind of move up and into the close. So kind of a really choppy, meandering day. And it feels like that way lately. I think it's because of all the, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here. It looks a little bit cleaner this way. Just a lot of indecision, a lot of noise, a lot of news, things that are affecting the market. So just have to be, well, I have to be extra picky and hopefully not get trapped as much. So hopefully that was helpful.